Hey, it's Black Friday, and did you know Black Friday is probably the best time of the year to buy plugins because it seems like everything goes on sale? Well, I decided to do something a little bit different. Instead of just vomit some sales at you, I decided to go through the plugins that I've already reviewed on this channel and see which ones are on sale right now and give you my top 4 list. I'm going to give you a highlight pack and some features from these particular plugins, and I'll link you directly to the sales. You know, it's a good thing I wear ball caps in my videos, so we can't laugh at my previous bad haircuts. All right, let's get to the list.
Black Friday Deals.
I'm not listing these in any particular order, but let's get to the first plugin on the list, and that's Expanse 3D from United Plugins. I covered this plugin on May 4th, 2021. Let's take a look at some highlights from that review.
I think that's probably one of the biggest challenges if you really think about it. When you're mixing in stereo, you have 2 sound sources, right? You're listening to speakers, you've got a left speaker and a right speaker, or if you're on headphones, you have left and right. So the perception of width or even placement in between those 2 speakers, it's all an illusion, right? Anything that's happening in the middle, it's not like we have a speaker tattooed to our forehead. So it's a very careful relationship between what's happening between the left and right side of our mix to create the illusion of depth. You know, things close to us, things far away, things in the middle, and everything in between. And I think that's a big part of the fun and discovery when we're actually mixing in stereo. So before we jump into the first sound sample, very quickly, it's a pretty simple plugin. Just looking at it in terms of operating it, there's 3 main settings. You've got width, you've got depth, and you've got height. Black Friday exclusive, 60% off Expanse 3D. Link in the description.
Wavesfactory makes probably some of the coolest plugins in the industry. I actually covered a couple of them on my channel. Back in February 1st, 2021, I covered Ech Cat, and more recently on October 16th, 2021, I took a look at Quantum. Let's take a look at some highlights from Wavesfactory.
We often take for granted a lot of the effects that we use today, certainly the ones available in plugin form. You know, we just slap it on a track, turn a few dials, and we get all these amazing sounds. But go back decades before all of this was available. I mean, simple things like a reverb. I mean, they needed an echo chamber to create reverbs, and delays were done through things like the Copycat, which was a physical tape machine that would record a sample of the instrument you were playing, and it had multiple playback heads on it. So that sample would play on this tape, which was playing back on a loop, and would get repeated every time it crossed the different playhead.
Now, what makes Quantum so unique? Well, in its core, it's a transient shaper, but to call it a transient shaper would really be underestimating what it's capable of doing. It's really a very sophisticated audio processor that's actually pretty easy to use. Now, what it does, it takes a signal and you can divide it into its transients and its sustain, and then you can process each individually with up to 16 different effects.
Quantum is 29% off, Ech Cat is 30% off. Link in the description.
MeldaProduction makes some of the most useful and unique plugins in the plugin game. I've covered a bunch of Melda products here in this channel. Spectral Dynamics was featured here on September 29th, 2020. A little after that, on October 27th, 2020, I took a look at the Empire expansion pack for the Drummer suite of tools. And most recently, on September 19th, I actually did a top 15 where I got to review all of the MeldaProduction plugins and had a little interesting ending to that video. Let's take a look at some of that. Now, Spectral Dynamics is a very surgical dynamics plugin, so it really hones in on the frequencies that you want to adjust. And there's 8 different functions in the plugin, so if you need a de-esser, or if you need a gate, or if you need a compressor, you just choose the module you want to use and go.
Number two.
Ducking. Do you have a bass guitar and a kick drum that are colliding, or perhaps a vocal and an acoustic guitar? Spectral Dynamics LE's ducking feature uses sidechain control to easily separate these frequencies and automatically help clean up the mud in your mixes. Melda Productions has just dropped an absolutely epic new sample pack for M-Drummer called Drum Empire 2020. This is an over 60 gigabyte sample pack with brand new kits, drums, cymbals, all pre-processed, all ready to go. And if you're an M-Drummer owner, well, guess what? You get it absolutely for free.
Number 2. Ah, shit.
Effects and presets. M-Drummer is loaded with a whole host of effects and presets. These are not light versions of plugins. They are fully functional effects ranging from dynamics and EQ to reverbs and modulation, with a ton of options in each category. These plugins were not an afterthought. From essentials to special effects, you've got everything you need within the plugin to create killer drum tracks. And to make this interesting, I was kind of curious, what would it sound like if I hit a power chord through all 112 plugins? Well, here goes. Wow, up to 51% off everything Melda has to offer. Link in the description. And last but not least on my list is Fabfilter. I featured a few Fabfilter products here on the channel. I mean, going back to 2019, on October 30th, I took a look at Pro Q3. On May 25th, 2020, I reviewed Saturn 2. And more recently, on June 26th, 2021, I took a look at Timeless 3. Let's check out some highlights. I just got some news that something's changed. We can't call it the Pro Q3 anymore. I'm serious. We now have to call it the Emmy Award-winning Pro Q3. External Spectrum Visualization. This lets you monitor frequencies from any other Pro Q3 instance. This means while inside one instance of the plugin, you can monitor frequencies on other tracks. And there's a collision detection feature that shows you where different tracks may be ganging up in a particular frequency. Imagine all of those hours you've spent trying to figure out where that muddiness is coming from. With the Pro Q, you can find it instantly. Saturn, if you're not familiar with it, is a multi-band distortion and saturation plugin.
Feature number 2.
New distortion styles. Saturn 2 now includes 28 different saturation and distortion styles, from subtle tape saturation to all-out bit crushing.
As if I didn't have enough clarity in my life already.
The subtle tape saturation modes work really great on your master bus, and my personal favorite are the new amp distortions, helping you create or accentuate a killer guitar tone with a variety of different amp distortion styles to choose from. 'Yes, Timeless 3 is a modulation monster. Now, why am I talking about modulation? This is a delay plugin. Well, using the delay parameters, you can create some really great modulation effects. Now, when I think of modulation for guitar, I'm thinking of chorus, flanger, perhaps some tremolo. But with Timeless 3, there's so many editable options. You can create some really unique sounds and really take your modulation effects to the next level. 25% off all Fabfilter plugins. Make sure to check this one out. Link in the description. Well, that's just a sampling of what's available on sale for this Black Friday. I've got links in the description so you can get those deals. And by the way, those are affiliate links. It doesn't cost you any more. In fact, on sale, it costs you less, and it kicks a little bit back to the studio, encourages me to make more content just for you. You know what? I've got a ton of plugin reviews, and I've got a playlist right here. You might want to sift through those, and you actually might discover some of these are on sale, things that I didn't even know about. If you do hear about some sales that I haven't mentioned, please let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell. And the most important thing is I hope I'm going to see you again in another video.